Hey, I'm John Bollinger in Nashville, Tennessee at the historic Ryman, and I'm with the historic Joe Bonamassa.
Not historic. No, there's two letters that separate famous from infamous. Now we'll determine by the end of this which one applies to me. But by the way, John, I have to ask you this question because why, you have such a good reputation. You're so wholesome, and you're such a great player, and universally loved. Why in the world would you get in the mud with me? I don't understand.
Joe,
your dedication to the cause. You know, I love it. I love it.
Well, man, I don't know what to say. I'm humbled and flabbergasted and speechless. So,
well, you know.
So
it's always a good time to get some dislikes for John Bollinger. This will be the one time.
Oh yeah. Oh, believe me, I'll get them. Hey, well, let's start with this Telecaster.
This guitar here I bought in August of 2014 from a guy named Terry Reid, who is a wonderful singer-songwriter from England. And Terry was up for the gig in the new Yardbirds. Wow. Before a guy named Robert Plant got it, and he was also up for the gig in Deep Purple before Ian Gillan got it as well. And he bought this guitar in, I would say, September of 1968 when he was the opening act for the Farewell Cream tour.
Right.
And he bought it in Chicago. And by the time, this is what he says, by the time he reached New York City at Madison Square Garden, the front pickup had died, so Manny's Music, the famous Manny's Music, put this humbucker in the front, as you would.
Yeah. And
he owned it all these years and ended up selling it to me in August 2014, so it's my 4th year with it. And I always tell Terry it's his guitar, and I'm just like a custodian. He can always borrow it back when he wants, and I've seen him subsequently. He's a good friend of mine, and I use it every night. And there's a great video of him in 1971 at Glastonbury with this guitar. And two interesting things about the video. One, he's a wonderful singer, musician, great songs, you should check him out. And two, most importantly, this guitar was this condition in 71. I don't know what happened between 52 and 70, but it hasn't changed much. And you get to see a very young David Lindley with his first pro gig playing with Terry in the UK. Before Glastonbury was this huge festival that it is now, there was about, I don't know, 400 people in front of the stage. So, but I use it every night. It's tuned up to F with 11s, and it plays like a truck.
God. And you said you're 11 through 52?
11 to 52, Ernie Ball.
And you're tuned up. Oh my God.
Well, on this guitar, I'm tuned up to F, because I do a lot of bending on this song called Slow Train. And to capo first fret and then to bend, sometimes the strings get stuck here. So it's just easier to tune up and kind of, you know, grin and bear it for a song. And,
yeah, well,
and it's fun.
Easier if you're superhuman. I could not. That's like telephone poles, man.
Well, my friend Josh Smith uses 13s, and I can't play his guitars, and he can't play mine. He thinks mine are like too light. I'm like, wow, it's all relative. So this is a nice guitar, and I've owned it for a long time. I love the tellies that are modified. You know, this one here has got the humbucker, and this is the little police mark where it was stolen in 1979, and Seymour Duncan actually found it for Terry. So,
wow.
In London.
What a great story.
And then often gets confused with the Terry Reid. This one here is a 1951 Nocaster. And I bought it again, just like this. There's a PAF out of an SG. I don't know, it's like a Les Paul Custom 1961, so it's like a gold PAF.
Now, how could you tell that is, how could you identify that as
because I bought a set of pickups from a gold Les Paul, and I stuck the middle one in here.
There you go, okay.
And I know this, and it's got this really great quacky out of phase between, this is my favorite flat pole pickup. I mean, it's just, for some reason, it just a little bit cut above all the other ones I've played. And, you know, it's been refretted, and you know, it's like a lot of times I show this to people and they go, "Oh, too bad." I go, "What do you mean too bad? This is great. Way better than that lipstick thing."
Yeah.
And you know, the cool thing about these kind of guitars is once it's been done, then now you have like, you just don't even think about it and play it.
Right.
You know, and I beat the hell out of it every night, and it's just, this is a screwdriver. you know. The
Right.
other one's a hammer. It's a tool, you know. And this one's in proper tuning. And, you know, clip logo and everything else. And it's just been played, and you know, whatever you give it, it gives back. And that's, you know, I put all this wear in here and all that.
That's great.
All me. So.
Now the frets, okay, I've been dying to ask, on an old guitar like that, when the frets are going and you have it refretted, do you up the fret size or go with those?
These are frets that I've always used, and here in Nashville there's a world treasure in a luthier named Joe Glazier.
Yeah, I love Joe.
And Joe has a specific size that we've kind of been using on Fender guitars for many years. And if you call him up, he will tell you, and it's no big secret.
Yeah.
And it's the same width, only a little bit taller. But the way the Plek machine works is it kind of takes a little bit of the crown off the top, so when you play him when you first pick up the guitar after it's been refretted, it feels like it's been worn in. Because we've all had those things where you get refretted guitars and like, wow, this is stiff.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not the case. So he's really a world treasure for old guitar.
Yeah, Joe's amazing.
So let's see what else we have for you, John.
All right.
This guitar looks like a normal 56 Fender Stratocaster, except there's one little twist to it. This guitar was purchased in 56 and sent back to Fender in 57 for a refinish for some reason.
Wow.
So it's 57 paint on a 56 guitar, and they do stamp them and label them when they did the factory refinish. And I was like, what's the difference? It's a great Strat, you know?
Right.
And then once again, we've kind of pioneered this Bakelite repair kit, which you can get at any Walgreens, which is white electrical tape.
Right, because Bakelite is disintegrating every second.
Well, what happens is they get little tear marks on the bottom, and when you're playing in anger, you don't really see. But if you did a slow motion, if you strike the guitar, when you hit the high E string or whatever, these things actually bend out. Sure. And sometimes they get caught underneath the thing, and the pickup cover, and will rip the rest of it off. So this is, people go, why don't you just change the covers? Like, well, this is a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, plus.
Why not? So,
okay,
here's another
that's
one.
Awesome.
Here's another one. This one I got in a set. I bought a 59 double neck Gibson with a mandolin top neck and a 6-string on the bottom in blonde finish.
Oh. And that's like a Jody Mathis thing?
Yeah, it's called an EMS, Electric Mandolin Spanish 1235, and they were all custom ordered. But that's a lot of guitar for a whole evening's worth of music, Yeah. That's a big guitar to just crank out the Porter Wagner. But this was the accompanying guitar in the set that the family had, and this is a 55 hardtail ash body Strat. And I like hardtails. I don't use the tremolo, so I like not having a tremolo.
Sure.
And normally what I do is I bolt down all of my tremolos and remove the bars, because there's a weird thing that happens when you hand a friend of yours or anybody, like if you go, here, check out this old guitar, it's been in the same condition for 65 years. All of a sudden, if there's a tremolo bar on it, everybody becomes Eddie Van Halen in 1978. And if you've ever had to drill out a base metal tremolo, it is the royal pain, okay? So I just eliminate that from any, nobody can, there's no dive bombs allowed.
Leave them not into temptation,
Right. And this here is my best Strat. This is one I've played for years. I got it from my friend Trevor Boone at Emerald City Guitars, and he calls me up, he goes, I have the best Strat in the world. I go, boy, oh boy, you better be right.